Hey everyone, Shadow here, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to walk you through editing a video. I've heard some people request this. I haven't seen too many YouTubers, at least in the MCOC community, making a video like this. The closest that I saw was Dorky Diggity Dave when he has his Music Mondays. He'll show everyone the process that he uses creating his music. Well, I'm going to do the same for editing a video, and it's going to be some basic editing, nothing fancy, and I wanted to show you guys just how easy it is. Now, the tool that I use is Filmora by Wondershare, and you can see on my desktop here, I have two versions. One is version 8. That is the version that I started out with and the one that I use for most of my content. Version 9 recently was released. I wanted to like it. It has a lot of features that I do like, but it has the feel of a rewrite rather than an upgrade. So there are features missing from version 9 that were in version 8, and there are tasks that version 8 made very easy that are just not there in version 9 or were made more cumbersome. All right. So we're going to be using version 8 in this video. And you can see here Audacity, one of the workarounds that I had to do when I was using version 9 because of the bug that I discovered, which was the last straw, was that it kept resetting my mic volume to 100. And it doesn't sound good when it did that. So what I would end up doing is instead of using Filmora to record my narrations, which is what I normally would do, I had to hit play in Filmora, record it in Audacity, and then import it into Filmora and sync it up. So I just said, forget that. I'm going to go back to 8 where everything was much easier. And I'll still revisit 9 and see if they've matured a little bit more. All right, so let's start. Fire this up here. All right, this is not a tutorial for Filmora. There are plenty of them out there, but I did want to show you guys how I edit a video. All right, so you can see over here there are folders. Now the folders that are built in are in all caps and you can't rename them. So the ones that are not in all caps I created, and it's purely for organizational purposes. I could have one folder, or I could have just used this top one here and dumped everything in here. All of the music that I use, sound effects that I use, the animated GIFs that I use, everything. And that is what I did in the past. But this is a new era, and I'm trying to be a little bit more organized. All right, so the video that we're going to edit is the Alliance War video. All right, so first what I'm going to do, I've already recorded these on the iPad, all right? And I uploaded them to the PC using Google Drive. So right now I'm going over to my Google Drive. I'm highlighting each one. And as you can see, I'm coming over here, dragging and dropping it. All right. And you can see it's importing all of that. So once it's imported, now I need to organize it on my timeline. Now you know that I have an intro and an outro, right? So I put those here. I've already recorded and created these. So I drag and drop that right on the timeline. All right. Now I can drag and drop this as well. And there's something called auto ripple. You see it right here. So that I can drag and drop any one of these right on top of it, and it'll actually move everything over to the right. That's one of the features that is made much more difficult in version 9. They don't have an auto ripple like this. And the way you have to do a ripple is cumbersome, and you still can't do it quite the way this one does it. All right, so I have my intro here. So now I need to locate the first clip, and that's going to be this one. So I go ahead and I drag and drop that right on the timeline. Okay, now I'll click here and move it over, because at the end of each one of my recordings, as you'll see in a moment here, you get that. Well, we don't want that, so I'll back it up a little bit. And to make things a little bit easier, this here can zoom in a little bit so you can see it better. I click on this and I put a breakpoint right there. Now this is separated from the rest of this. So I can just hit delete and it's gone. So now, if you play that, it's not there. And I have to do that for each clip. That's one of the reasons I like to wait for my energy, so that I have less of these to deal with. All right, so now the next one, you can also get a little preview here. So like, I knew this was the first one, but maybe I'm not sure which one of these is next. So I just click on it and it pops up over here. And I know where that is, so I know that's not the next one. Click over here. Okay, so let me move it a little bit. Okay, so that's not the next one. Click this one, move it a little bit, and you can also just hit play if you want to, and it'll play the whole thing. See? So I know that it's more than likely in reverse order, because that's the order that I actually selected them in, but I just wanted to show you guys how this works. All right, so I grab this one, drag that one down right there. I'll go again to the end here, knowing that that's there, and I will clip that out. And I'll have other edits that I'm going to do, but for the time being, I want to make sure that I get those clipped out. All right, so we go again here, and you can see some of these are just me moving. All right, so we move over here again. There we go. Clip that. That's gone. And you see the little check mark. That lets you know that this is being used in the timeline. So you don't have to worry about, oh wait, did I already move this clip over? All right, so now we got the next one here. And this is just me moving. I like to include all of these, even though it means yet another clip. And you can see here, I had a little bit of a problem. I wasn't sure if it was recording. Something had happened and I wasn't sure what was going on here, okay? So the only purpose for this clip is to show my movement to get up to there. So really at this point, I don't really need to show anything else, because all that you see here, I'm not moving, I'm just there. So I already hit a breakpoint, delete that. So all you get is that movement there, and done. All right, so next up, got the next clip here. It's also small. I don't normally have this many, but it was getting late and I wanted to make my moves. I had forgotten that maintenance wasn't yesterday, but tonight. So I was trying to move as often as possible to get to that node right there, node 46. Okay. Now, a lot of times you'll see me edit this out. Like I'll go here, here, and then at this point right here, I'll just clip it here. And then in the next one, I'll, just continue on. However, let me show you something here. Before I clip that out, I'll drag this over. So this is the last segment, all right? And look at where this one starts. Okay, so I'm not there yet. So what I'll do is right here is where I start using my boosts, right? So I will hit a breakpoint there, delete. So that starts with the boosts. All right, so here I can really stop this at any time. I don't need to leave it in to the end. So what I'll do is I'll go here, and then at this point right here, hit a breakpoint, delete. And you see how it deletes and everything shifts over to the left? The version 9 of this, you can do that, but you have to do shift delete. It's called a ripple delete there. Just a little bit different, but what have you. All right, so now this is the last segment, and I will go through this. This is the time that I like to just discuss what I'm doing here. And you see here, my time ran out. Okay. And here I healed him up, right? Okay, so what I'll do here, just to save a little bit of time, okay, once I get all of the boosts up, I'll keep going here. Just before it does that, I'll back up and hit a breakpoint. Actually, I think I closed it out on purpose, but I was thinking that I would make it continued at the other point, but it's fine. Okay, so here, I just moved on past that point. And what I can do is at this point here, you'll remember that that's where we left off before. I'll hit break and delete that. Okay, so what you get from all the way over here is you'll go up here, you'll get to see Spider-Man, and then it'll flip right over to the boosts. And then after the boosts are done, it switches over to the heal. Even though you know there were other things that happened in between that because you've seen the raw footage, but it doesn't make it in the final video because why would I add all of that? It just makes the video longer. Okay, so now, at this point, we got the fight. Well, there's not a lot of editing that I'm going to do for the fight itself. I'm just going to narrate over it. So I'm going to go past it. Okay, now, you see here where I scrolled up. I'm looking here. Scouter lens allows me to, the mastery scouter lens allows me to see their rank and HP and all of this. At this point, I'm using the scouter lens bot. Description, in my description, you'll see a link to that. And so I'm going to be sitting here for a while, as you can see, while I'm using that bot. It wasn't long, didn't take me long, but at the same time, I don't want to make you guys sit here waiting through that. So at this point right here, I'll add a breakpoint and I'll go through, I'm manually advancing it as you see here on the timeline, all through this. Keep going. Okay, so here is where the loading starts. So I'll go ahead and hit a breakpoint there and delete it. So that's a lot of dead space that you guys didn't see that I was using the bot. Okay, so I'll scroll ahead again. Keep going. Okay, so now I'm on this one here. So I'm going to put a breakpoint. And I'll keep going because I was using the Scouter Lens bot again. That's why I'm sitting here for this long. Okay, so now that I've switched over, I know that at this point, I know who I'm fighting. So I backed it up a little bit just so you can see that transition. Hit the breakpoint, delete. Okay, so what you guys see is from this one, straight over, boom, switches right on over. Okay, now, even after I switched over, I forget, something happened. I was a little bit distracted. Something happened in my room here. So I didn't immediately go into the fight. So I'll hit a breakpoint here and keep advancing, and see it went timed out on me all of this time because I forget what happened. Either someone called me or something like that. And so I go back in, and you see there, right here, I'll add another breakpoint. So you guys don't see all of that extra dead space. And here I went back in, viewed my boosts, and I like to leave those in so those in my alliance can see what boosts I'm using as well. All right, and so we got this fight. And we keep going. Okay, so now here, I don't need to use the Scouter Lens bot. So it's going right on in here. I replace some of my boosts, and I'm right into the fight. So there's no editing really that needs to be done as far as, cutting out the dead space, because this is only part 1. Okay, so I just scroll through. Okay, and so at this point, I just want to get rid of that last part there, and I leave some of that in just to give me some time to narrate over it and talk before it's ended. Okay, now, at this point, the war is not over, so I still have to record the final piece where we win or lose and add my commentary to that. So right now, I'm done as far as clipping the little pieces out. All right, so you can see that we're at about 12 minutes here. All right, now I want to show you guys something, and I don't put this in the war videos usually. This is more for my crystal openings, but I want to show you guys how easy this is to do. You've seen how I have like the little Carlton. All right, in the animated GIFs, I have a bunch of ones here that I use. All I did was go on Google, do a search. These were emojis, and most of them have a white background. You can't tell here which ones are transparent or not, but all of these are actually transparent. This one isn't. I downloaded this just so that I could show you guys how easy this is to do in Filmora version 8. Okay, so look here. This is what it looks like. All right, it has a white background. So if I drag this on top of the video here, and you can resize it, of course, and say I want to add that over here. All right, what this looks like currently, because it has that white background, see? Now, here is one of the things that I loved about this. I can double click here. Don't worry about these. These are different motions. I can make this thing flip around and do all kind of crazy things. But I can go to Advanced, under Effect, click this, okay, make parts of the clip transparent, and then the current color, come over here, see the little eyedropper, click on the white, and boom. I can actually adjust the intensity here, and click OK, and it's transparent. Just that easy. Now look and see how this looks. See? Very easy. Version 9, you can no longer do that, period. It's not even made difficult. You can't do that. Don't ask me why they did that. I don't know. Now, what I ended up doing to work around it is I found a utility online that could make the backgrounds transparent. So I ran all of these through that utility, made them transparent, so now I don't have to keep going through the process you just saw me go through each time. So that's probably a better way to do it in any case. All right, so that's a very brief showcase of how I edit these videos. I didn't do anything too fancy. And what I'll end up doing at this point, I'll narrate over the video. Let's get rid of this and I'll show you. All right, so I'll move it to like right here. You can move it frame by frame. Okay, I'm just clicking it one at a time here until I get there. Now, what I'll do, click this, and once I hit this, you'll see it'll count down, and then I'll say, hey everyone, Shaedow here, and welcome to a Marvel Contest of Champions video. Okay, now you can hear as I'm recording this that you can hear the clicks in the background. You hear all that? Okay, so I don't want that. Now, version 9 of this automatically mutes all of this for me. But what I would have to do, and I'll show you this here, you can detach the audio for the clip. So I will come down, if you want to work with the audio separately, like if I want to make it louder or softer or mute it, this is what I end up having to do. And I do this on all of my videos. And I'll show you why. Just makes it easier to work with. Okay, so now I have the audio separate. I can double click on the audio here and I can adjust the volume. So if I think that it's too loud and my voice is too soft, I can set this volume, and I usually like to put it at about 70. So each one of these I would have to go through and set it manually because I segmented them already. So one thing that I could have done to avoid having to do this part is before I went through the clip and, you know, hit the breakpoints and deleted each one, while it was still one big giant block, I could have detached the audio, set the audio one time for all of the entire segment. I still had several segments, and then edit it. But in doing that, I would have had to hit a breakpoint here and then delete it. So depends on your preference which one you want to do. Okay, so I'll actually go through and set each one of these to about 70. Now, version 9 does make this also a little bit easier because I can actually edit the audio. I can still detach it, but I can edit it, and a lot of the things that the reason that I edit, that I detach it, they allow you to do without needing to detach it in version 9. So like I said, there's a lot of things that I liked about version 9, but they just had some showstopper issues. All right, so now everything is set to 70% here, or 70 volume. And see here, over here, right here, I can click this, and right now it is muted. You might not be able to see it, but there's a little X. Now I can go to here and record my audio and not hear this being played back. Like I said, in version 9, this is automatic. So I will do this. Hey everyone.
The time is 11 o'clock a.m.
And that is one of the drawbacks right there. I'm leaving that in so you can see some of the frustration because I forgot to turn off my talking clock. So I'm right in the middle of recording this, and then that happens. And I'm like, oh my goodness. All right, so now I go down here, click that off, and I know that it's not going to do that again for another hour, so I can leave it. Otherwise, I have to remember to turn everything off that might pop up notifications or anything like that. All right, so here we'll do this again. Hey everyone, Shaedow here, and welcome to another Marvel Contest of Champions video. In this video, we are going to be fighting in a war, or something like that. I'll create my narration later. All right, so then I hit stop, and when I go back over here, I can listen back to it. Hey everyone, Shaedow here, and welcome to another Marvel Contest of Champions video. All right, and so if I like how that sounds, great. If I think that it's a little bit too low, I can double click on it, increase it to 200. Hey everyone, Shaedow here, and welcome to another Marvel. And see, that's much louder. But I found that it sounds cleaner with the settings, my mic settings that I have. I think I have it to like 80, and the gain settings on the mic, it seems just fine. Okay, so what I'll end up doing afterwards is I'll go through, narrate the video all the way through. Now, say I want a special effect. You've heard sometimes when I go and, I think it's sometimes my videos where I'm doing like duels or any kind of fighting, you'll hear some Mortal Kombat sounds. Well, here's what I'll do here. All right, so I put those in this folder here. And each one of these, and you can have as many as you want. So here's my little KO one. You can hear it here. KO! You hear how loud that is. That's the volume that it is by default. Okay, so I'll come down here and I'll go all the way to like right there where I know the KO is, right? And let me back up a little bit. All right, and then go forward one. Okay, this is where the KO starts. So I'll grab this down to the timeline. See the little one here? And I'll line it right up where this was, because that's right at the point of the video. And if you play, okay, now that's way too loud for me anyway. So I'll drop that down a little bit to 50. Play it back now. Okay, now if that sounds too loud to me still, I can just adjust it some more. Go back. Okay. Now, you didn't hear any of the fighting, of course, because this is still muted. So, let me pause this, and I can unmute it and play it back here. Okay. So that lets me know that this is not overpowering this too much, and everything seems to be all right. So that is basically how I edit videos. You've seen me add the sound effects in. You've seen me detach the audio, adjust the audio settings. You've seen what I do with the transparent GIFs, how I can add that to the video. Pretty straightforward. Now, one other thing that you may see me do, and that's speed things up. I don't do that as much anymore with my crystal openings. I'll either just clip it out, or sometimes I'll speed it up. Well, for that, say I wanted to speed up this portion right here for no reason, just to show you guys. All right, so I'll hit the break point and say I want to speed up that much. So I'll double click here, and you see the speed. I can slow it down or speed it all the way up. Okay, and let me show you what that looks like. See how it scrunched it down? Okay, that is what it does when you've adjusted the sound. I mean the speed. Okay, again, version 9 has done a much better job. Now, if I come over here, I can stretch that out so you can see the segment here. Now, because I detached the audio, the sound doesn't get sped up at the same time. All right, so let me back out. Control Z is your friend. Okay, so I just Control Z'd out what I just did there. All right, and what I could do at this point is I can add a breakpoint here, but then come down here, add a breakpoint, and come over here, add a breakpoint, click on this, hit delete. So that removes the sound. Then I come up here, speed it up. Now you don't have any distorted sound, because the sound, if they tries to speed it up, will be, all distorted. So that is how you would speed up different segments or slow them down. All right. Now, I did show you a quick view of one of the effects. I was telling you that I could do different motion effects. All right. Well, let me show you what I mean here. So we'll go to the animated GIF again. And let's grab peanut butter jelly. And we'll put him up here. All right. And now what I'll do is I'll double click here, go advanced, effect again, click. Now you'll notice that his eye is gone. That is because I told it to do the white only. That's one reason you might want to make an edit elsewhere and make that transparent yourself. But let's just leave that in for right now. Okay, so we've got hey everyone dancing. You still have me narrating, so let's delete that so we don't keep hearing it. All right. There we go. Now, watch this here. All of these, each one of these, and if you double click, it'll apply it. Okay, now he disappeared, but that's because this motion has been applied. So let's go down here and hit play. Saw he spun in and spun out? That's what that motion did. And there are a bunch of those. So I have a lot to choose from. You can do that. Double click. And let's see what that looks like. See how it went up from the left there. It's a short clip, but yeah, he comes up from the left. All of that is those different motions. Let me show you one. This one here, the fly zoom. See, I double clicked on it. And so you can see what it looks like here. Okay. So that's pretty much it. There's a lot of intricacies to Filmora, but it's pretty straightforward and easy. I hope you guys have seen that. All right. So that's going to do it, guys. Hopefully this helps you guys out. Hopefully you enjoyed it or found it informative. Click like, subscribe, leave a comment. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, ask me questions. I'll try to answer it as best I can. I'm not a video editing guru or a graphics art guru or anything like that, but I'm hoping that this helps someone. All right, so take care, everyone, and you guys have a blessed day.